Michael Munro, and I want to welcome you to a new edition of Chalk Talk with Coach Munro. Today I'd like to talk to you about something very important, and that's this whole idea of your personality. Your personality. Now, a lot of people say that a personality is something you develop over time. I would suggest a personality is something that you're really just born with, and through life you go through stages where you get very comfortable with preferences based around that personality. So let me give you an example. I'm going to go ahead and write my name for you. Doesn't look like much, but that's my signature. Now, what would happen if I took my pen and put it in my opposite hand and tried to write my name again? Well, let's watch. This is a little bit difficult. Things are a little bit crooked here. I'm kind of going the wrong way, even though I'm trying to be straight. Let's get the last name here. See if I can do it in cursive. There. I know they probably look very similar, but as you can see, both signatures are very, very different. I don't know about you, but I can't remember the day that I determined I was going to be right-handed. It just sort of happened. And I believe your personality is the same way. Now, the question is, how do we tell what personality is what? Well, there's a lot of great instruments you can use. The one that I prefer to use, the one I've used most often in my workshops, and maybe the one you've actually done with me, is something called the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, known by the MBTI. Now, you take that through a 93-question survey, and the questions don't take that long to do. They take about maybe 15 minutes. But what you get as you go through that is you get a read on what your personality actually is. So if you look at it this way, you see that there's sort of the baseline. It goes right down the middle. And nobody actually has a personality that's right in the middle. But in fact, all of us can be different gradients of the personality. In your personality, there are 4 areas that we call dichotomies. So we could draw them like this. And on either side of the dichotomy is one preference. So over here, you have extroverted. Over here, you have introverted. Over here, we have sensing. Over here, we have intuitive. Over here, we have thinking. And over here, we have feeling. And the last ones, we have judging over here, perceiving over here. Now, when you take it, what you'll find is that you are going to be scored one way or the other so that you will end up with a personality preference of 4 letters. In my case, my personality preference is INFP, so everything for me actually goes right down this side right here. And if I was to mark the gradients, and there's different degrees, you can be slight, you can be moderate, you can be clear or very clear, and it works the same way on this side here. You'll find that you have different gradients. In my case, my gradient for introverted is pretty good. Intuitive is very clear. Feeling is about slight to moderate. And perceiving is actually clear. Which means for me, my preference is to be kind of by myself, working by myself, very creative, making my decisions based on emotion, and in terms of the way I structure myself, fairly loosely structured. Now, the beauty of that is that I can realize then that for me to ever reach out and talk to other people who are different, I have to push myself a little bit. Which means if I'm going to come over here and deal with extroverted people, I just know that I can do it, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have to go back here where I'm comfortable. When I deal with people in a meeting where we're starting to gather information, my preference is always to look at the abstract, but a lot of times I deal with people who like to go with the stuff they can actually put their hands on, so of course I have to come over here and then I'll gradually make my way back. When it comes for me to decide things, usually I do it emotionally. I also know that if I'm dealing with people who deal with things and make decisions based on data, I come over here, I play around over here, and then I go back to where I'm comfortable. And the last one here can be really traumatizing for people who are very structured and ordered. I prefer to do things kind of at the last minute, which drives a lot of people crazy. So when I need to, I can be structured, but then of course I always come back here to home base. When you can understand how this works for you, you'll find you have a better handle on your personality and also be able to work better with other people as well. So that is your personality as identified by the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, also known as MBTI. For more information on this, you can always check my website out at www.totalcareermastery.com. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Chalk Talk with Coach Munro.